Hello, everyone. We have a special episode today, and we're gonna rank Tool albums. Now, I've been a fan since I would say '94, when someone in my classroom gave me a tape of Tool. I'd never heard of them, and I became an instant fan. And I've seen them 4 times live, and I think they're great. So I thought it would be funny to do a kind of ranking. I know there are people that have different opinions to me, and these are my opinions, so I respect everyone else's wishes. So let's get started. So we're going to start with the first album. Well, it's not actually an album, it was an LP, and it was under the name of Opate, and it wasn't a full length album, and it was recorded around 91, and there was a demo that came out before then. And this is, if you find it on tape, it's worth a lot of money. But this was basically the first sort of recording Tool ever did. Some really amazing tracks. It begins with a really killer open track, which is Sweat. Such a powerful song. And, it has really standout tracks, but you could tell that they had a more raw, edgy, punky uh, edginess to them on this LP. And it really cemented them as a recording band as well. Up until then, they were playing in the Loft together, which was Danny Carey's place that he rented out, and stepped in as a drummer for them. And they came out with this, and they were just playing music the whole time. They gave up everything eventually to focus on Tool. But I would put this in category B because although it's brilliant, it's not the Tool that we get to know, and the one that we eventually evolves into what we've had now with the full-on albums. So that's where that belongs for me. The second one we've got is Opate, and the front cover was actually designed by Adam Jones himself. If you don't know, Adam Jones, before he took on full-time Tool as a guitar player, was actually a special effects artist, and he worked on Jurassic Park. There's stills or videos of him doing that. Uh, Supposedly the hand on Terminator where he pulls out, and the aesthetics from the Liquid Terminator. So he's also an artist, and he designed this cover, and this is for Undertow. This was 1992. Now, what happened was they had all the tracks mostly. I know they recorded some additional tracks, or sorry, created some additional tracks, but they split it up into the LP of Opate and then put the kind of rest of the songs on Undertow. That was recorded in 1992. Sylvia, she did the recordings. There's been a mixed bag. Some of the guys in Tool didn't like the recording. Some did, it was a split in the camp there. But for me, it signifies Tool as they soon became, or how they would, progressively develop in the actual sound of Tool. It has a more hard rock edge to it. Some really good tracks. Bottom is a great track. I really love that. You've got Henry Rollins on there as well, and he lost a gambling match to them apparently, and he had to pay it off. So he became a guest on that song, Bottom, and you can hear him talking. You know, you've got Tolerance, which is also a great track. In fact, the whole album has some really amazing stuff on there, and some really trippy stuff right at the end. You know, voiceovers and stuff on the end track there in Constipated. I got that wrong. Sorry, you're gonna fucking destroy me on that one. Ah, but anyhow, I'm not very good with names, as you all know. So that signifies Tool as they were as a recording artist. And you got a song on there called Swamp as well, Swamp Song, which is a really great song. It's kind of like a psychedelic, kind of slow ballad song, and it's just a great album, and I'll definitely put it up here on the A, definitely. Uh, and then we come into Enema or Anemia or however you want to pronounce it. This to me I got it on record, so I'm quite lucky. And in fact, I've got all their albums on records, which I'm very fortunate of. Uh, but this to me is the greatest album. Came out in '96. They recorded it on the 12 track. No, I think it was a 24 track. Sorry, and it's a masterpiece, beginning to end. You know, you got Stinkfist, which basically broke them through into the commercial realm. You got all the great prison sexes on there, which has a really cool video, which is animated, and Adam Jones also took part in that. But in this album, you start to see a band that's really developed immensely since the first LP, OK, to what we have on this album. And again, the front cover was designed by Adam. Has a very great front cover, and the whole track is the whole album is just amazing, beginning to end. You know, and I think it definitely stands as their greatest album, and if not one of the greatest albums ever recorded. It's just absolutely amazing, beginning to end, like I say. So I put that right up here on the B. Sorry, I'm fucking blind with this mask. It's an S, yeah? You just got some incredible tracks on there, and it's really where Tool started going really proggy, really, really in a different direction. They still have the hard edge from the two previous recordings, but they start to go in a more progressive, experimental uh, direction. Yeah, you've got Eulogy, which is really amazing. It just starts off really trippy with the mic sounds, stuff like that, and then the tribal, the mandolin drums that Danny started using back then, and it throughout the whole of it. And then the end tracks, oh man. Third Eye is just mind blowing. Unfortunately, I never got to see them play that live. They never really played it live that often, but I would love to have seen Third Eye live. Uh, but it's just an amazing album, beginning to end. And then we go on to the 2001 release, and I remember when this came out. It's a funny story. I was on lunch break and I didn't realize it had come out, and I just saw it on the listening post and had to buy it there and then. And funny enough, I mean, everyone cites, Lateral as the best album from them. I do not. I never really connected greatly with the album. It starts off with the Grudge, which is absolutely insane. I mean, Maynard screams at the end with that amazing scream in the end is absolutely incredible. And it has some really, it has some great tracks on there that really stood the time. But at the end of the day, for me, it doesn't it doesn't cut it for me, and I would put it in the A category here. And I know I'll probably get some hate from that, uh, but for me, it was never the best one, and I still don't listen to it now. Unfortunately, you have some really standout tracks on that album, but it just doesn't sit with me. And then you have the one that came out in 2006, which is 10,000 Days. And again, I remember I was wondering back then, all those years ago, why the hell hasn't there been an album from Tool, you know? And going back to Lateral, sorry, Schism is an incredible song, and also put them more in the mainstream. We're going back to that album. So going back to 10,000 Days, I would put that right up S. Because for me, everything about it, from Vicarious, which is a brilliant song, the timing on the drums is very odd. If you try to play that beat, it's very difficult to play. He's really started playing more with the time bending polygon rhythms, and you have Wings for Mary about Maynard's mum, who was crippled, and yeah, he he actually did a wine for his mom as well, but we won't go into that. But there's some incredible songs on there. Rosetta Stone. I mean, geez, that's probably the best Tool song ever written. It's just incredible. The whole album, Writing Two as well, is just some epic, you know, give monkey thumbs and they start a war again, etc., talking about how primitive and primeval we are, even though we're given so many chances in life and such a wonderful world around us. But the whole album for me is just, it sounds amazing as well. I like the production, I like the way it sounds, and there's lots of layers with the guitar if you listen to it. This really is like an Adam Jones kind of album because he's doing a lot with the guitar and kind of, it's funny because each Tool album for me gives each member a kind of stance where they stand out more, you know? So like Lateralis from the drum perspective with Ticks and Leashes and stuff like that is Danny's album if you ask me. Um, whereas in Enema and also 10,000 Days, I mean, that 10,000 Days had more of Justin's bass playing and becoming a pinnacle point in the instrumentals. Whereas Enema for me has the best playing from Adam Jones. He's doing the drop down tunings. He's doing drop to B tunings. He's doing a lot more texturally. But also on the 10,000 Days, you can hear a lot of textures if you really zone in and hear the album. And I put that there. And then we come to the last album. And I did an unboxing of this when it first came out. It's already been nearly 6 years. And there was a huge amount of time between 10,000 Days here going up to Fear Inoculum. There has been a lot of people that I kind of associate with who said that's not a great album. It's definitely not as hard and heavy as the other prior albums. But for me, it kind of, I just love it. I just think it's brilliant. I mean, you know, Fear Inoculum is the first track, and I remember hearing that and I was thinking, geez, this really is like, they've really took it another level, and you can tell they really worked on the songs and really put a lot into it. And I think I'd put this right up on S, definitely. I think it's one of their best albums, apart from Enema, of course, which is my favorite, because it just has an incredible sound, and I just feel that Tool really developed and really just thought about like the percussive side, the playing from from Neumann. If you try to play that on the drums, it's very difficult. Um, you just have an incredible set of songs, beginning to end. There is also filler because Tool have filler in their songs, but for me, it's a whole package, and it just sounds amazing. It sounds amazing on vinyl as well. It's one of the best sounding vinyls that I've ever put on. It just sounds incredible, you know. And you've got Invincible as well, which is an amazing song. You've got Neuma. You've just got a steady and just at the end the amazing song of the whole package towards the beginning and end. And I put it right up the top there. So yeah, as I said, I consider myself a Tool fan. This is how I rate Tool albums. If you like it, please like, subscribe. Thank you very much. Hopefully, I get time to do more of these. Cheers.